Tune in, turn up, it's time to go. Deep talks and a crazy show. It's Toon Along, yeah, you know the name. Big ideas, fun and games. Hit that play, don't miss a beat. This is the podcast where we all meet.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Toon Along. I thank you for stopping by. We are about to traverse on a nice experience tonight. It's Thursday night, heading off into the sunsets of Friday morning. Wee hours of Friday morning. I got a special episode today. It's going to probably be a little bit hard for you guys, but if you can find it, more power to you. But this episode right here is called, I should say the show we're going to watch is called Radioactive, and it's Season 1, Episode 4, The Evil Empire. Ooh, I'm excited. Now, let me tell you, actually, before I tell you anything, let's go ahead and start the episode now. I'm going to cue you guys in. Like I said, it's going to be hard to find this episode. If you can go on YouTube online, find it. Season 1, Episode 4, Radioactive. Let's get it going. In 3, 2, 1, play. All right, we got the intro. Giancarlo something, Lucinda Davis, Melissa, Susan Glover. Okay, there we go. Now, you might remember this actress, Vanessa. Oh, I didn't get the name. But Vanessa, you guys remember Vanessa? If you've ever seen the movie Waiting with Ryan Reynolds, she's the girl. She's the hostess of the place, hitting on the bald guy from Anchorman. I should know his name. He's a phenomenal actor. Let me turn this down a little bit. So yeah, today we're watching an episode of Radioactive. I'm really excited. It does feel like a nice Thursday night, show, because YTV would play this show. Now, I don't know if this show ever played in the United States or anywhere else in the world. I'm assuming maybe you might have heard of it or you might have seen it once in your life at best. But in Canada, if you grew up in the 90s, this show was definitely on. It was on your radar. Whether you were in high school, elementary school, even university to some degree, I'm assuming. I don't know. But I feel like this show was definitely a watch. It's a great comedy. It does. I remember it being very funny. The actors are very good. You can compare it to, I guess, modern day or somewhat of a modern Nickelodeon sitcom with kids. Minus a lot of that cheese. This show here actually had some spunk to it. It had some lessons to be learned. And at the same time, the over-exaggerated reaction of some of the characters was done on... It always felt like it was done on purpose. Almost like a satire of sorts, but this show just brings back great memories. And like I said, Monday to Thursday, because Friday YTV always had a different lineup, different schedule, but Monday to Thursday, this show would have definitely been on your radar right before going to bed for myself anyway. It was one of those last shows watching for the curtain call, before getting in the fucking bed sheets and calling her a day, right? So you get a good laugh. But if you have a chance to watch this show, or even want to, you've never heard about it, you want to give it a shot, I couldn't recommend this show anymore. I don't know how it holds up today. I haven't seen an episode of Radioactive. A full episode, watching it and really being, interested in it. I haven't seen an episode in probably 20 years. Well, maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe more like 15. But it's an old show. It used to play a lot. Now, the characters on the show, these actors, you might recognize some of them from other shows. Like I said, Melissa. I'm going to look up her name after. We'll get the Kijiji going. Fuck Kijiji. We're going... what's it called? Wikipedia. I always get that wrong. Kijiji and Wikipedia, same shit, right? But no, it's not. But anyways. So, if you guys don't know, these characters, these actors, were going to be, I guess at the time, were some of Canada's biggest and brightest upcoming stars on the TV set, on the TV realm. So, the guy, if you guys don't know, there's another show called Fries with That. If you've ever heard of that show, well... You know that the guy with the spiky hair, Giancarlo, I forget his last name, but he is in that show. He is he's the manager of the restaurant. And that Fries with That also has kind of a similar vibe. I feel like it's made by the same creators as this show. I could be wrong. He's going to miss again. this what's his name? Principal Flinsworth, something Worth, right? Great character. Really funny, over the top. But just just something about these actors that felt really good, like they were really talented. They probably still are, just never got really their big shot. In Canadian media, they try to promote a lot of Canadian content, Canadian actors, which is normal. Every country's got their thing, right? But this, for me, is the pinnacle of 90s kids, I would say, teenage sitcom. It's as good as it gets. It's probably one of the best shows you're going to get out there, along with maybe Student Bodies, which was out a little bit earlier. Maybe in the similar category as Boy Meets World, but Boy Meets World was a little bit more serious at times. This is straight up just, joke after joke, but really cleverly put. So, now, like I said, watch this episode if you have a chance on your own, if you've never seen it. But we're going to go ahead and go on Kijiji, right? Now we're going to go on Wikipedia and take a look and see what Radioactive has done to the internet. Now, if I just type Radioactive, I'm not going to get anything. We need to type Radioactive TV show. See what we get. Just the intro as well. If you guys heard the intro song, it's catchy. It's something. Okay, so this came out in 1998 to 2001. So it's a late 90s show. It's a late bloomer. Can consider it, 2 years in the 90s, 1 year, 2 years and, 3 years and, 2 and 2. It's got 3 seasons. Okay. Giancarlo Caltabiano plays George Goodwin. Lucinda Davis. Vanessa Lengies. Sorry, I'm not good with those names. But Vanessa Lengies, I think she was, at the time, she might have been a model or something. She was definitely one of the more popular characters. You see her in, like I said, Waiting, and probably a few other movies. Just another up-and-coming actress from the times, from the Canadian repertoire of actors. Now we can see here, more like this. You got Freaky Stories, Mummies Alive. Yeah, just your typical YTV 90s lineup. So if we go back here, let's take a look. Radioactive TV series. Okay, Radioactive is a Canadian sitcom television series broadcast on YTV, based on the Quebec-French series Radio Enfer, about group of students at Upper Redwood High managing their own school radio station. That's right. They have a radio station, and everybody kind of hops on, does their thing. I remember that. That's a classic thing about the 90s, and I want to say 80s too, but just your high school radio. I remember going to high school. We didn't have one, but I remember maybe for like a few months they opened it up. There was the old radio room, the media room, and I remember a couple kids just inquiring about it, opening it up, and I actually went on. I was asked to do a couple impressions and whatnot of stupid shit, but it was fun. And from what I remember, the quality on the audio speaker was not that good, so people didn't really know what was going on. It just sounded muffled. But it would have been it is a cool concept. Bringing back the radio station for your school, elementary school or high school. Of course, today, with, who knows, I would say the immaturity level has definitely gone down a bit. Kids today seem more sedated. So I don't know if they would, use the mic in inappropriate ways. I'm assuming there's kids out there. But when I was growing up, you better believe you would have had to have a teacher in the room to keep an eye, including myself. So let's take a look here. There's not a whole lot. Just a bunch of episodes. They're showing, there's a lot of episodes. 78 episodes over the course of 3 seasons, 26 a season. Always that famous number, 26 when it comes to TV shows. Here we go. Okay, Radioactive follows a group of students at Upper Redwood High who have a radio show. Chaos follows as the group try to work together and watching out for the sneaky Miss Noelle Atoll, who always believes they're up to something. I see. Yeah, see, they would have been a mischievous group. But here's the thing. They're in high school, but all of them look like they're in university. A little bit too old for their age, which is kind of typical of some of the 90s stuff. Even the high school students, they look like they were adults in some cases, some of those movies. But that's it. There's honestly not really much. They say the main cast here, Giancarlo as George Goodwin. You've got Tanya Panda. That's a cool name. Kevin Calvin. Those are good radio names. Ethan St. John. I remember Ethan. I think he's the younger looking guy. Always got a nice haircut, clean cut. Angus B. Noseworthy. That's the vice principal. Okay, that's right. However, is laid back and has no self-discipline. Okay, so he's a bit of a pushover. You can go through him to get stuff. Noelle Atoll, the supervising teacher in charge of Radioactive, whom the group dislikes. Miss Atoll is an English teacher and tends to hand out multiple detentions for those who work at Radioactive. The old police officer of the group. All right. Vanessa Lengies as Sarah Lay. Okay, Morgan's little sister. Oh, that's right, Morgan. Forgot about Morgan. Where's Morgan? Oh yeah, Morgan Lay. Morgan is the productive, witty, and reliable one in the group. She strives to get perfect grades and frequently clashes with Kevin, Roger, and Blair. All right. So Vanessa, okay, Sarah Lay. Morgan Lane, Sarah Lane. Okay, Morgan's little sister who constantly annoys and interrupts the group. Mostly noted for her mail delivery and rollerblades. Okay. Ryan Wilner as Roger Richards. So he comes out in season 2 and 3. Roger is one of, if not, the most intelligent of the group. He always gets good marks and is known to suck up to Miss Atoll. However, he is notable. Wait, Ryan Wilner. And then there's Blair Reznicki. Okay, I remember now. I remember watching this show in 98, 99, and then they brought in 2 new characters. See, that just skipped me. That's another thing. Watching this and reading this just brought back a little memory there. So those 2 characters they added in. And I remember that being kind of odd. So, for myself being 9 years old at the time, and you think your shows are always concrete and never changing, and then they add a few characters. At first, you don't like it, right? First, you're kind of like a little reserved on the idea. But then after the characters start opening up, you go, you know what? These are my new favorite characters. They're great. If I had to pick a favorite character in the entire show, I would say George. George is kind of the idiot, just always doing something weird. George, he's an entertaining character. And I think that's maybe one of the main reasons why he got to go on Fries with that, is because of that. He's I don't know, he's really good in front of the camera. I don't know how to put it, but he's really entertaining to watch and just a good comedic act. Not to say everybody else doesn't have it, but there's something about George, the guy with the spiky hair, the blonde hair. He's definitely the glue on the team there, like he is right now. They're throwing stuff in the dumpster. See, there's the guy. What's his name? Blair? I don't know. Sorry, I forgot. I don't know the names. I remember Morgan. You see her a lot. She's always in front of the mic in the room talking on the radio. But just a great show playing on YTV. Great actors. And just bringing back good memories. Even the way the camera is full. I mean, to make a show like this didn't require much budget if you think about it. Just need maybe a few lockers, just a room, a few pieces of equipment, and just quality actors can make any set stand out. It's not about the set, it's really about the actors. And these actors, if you watch this show now, I have no idea how you're going to feel or how you're going to take it. Even for myself, I'm sure if I was to sit down and watch, I would probably be biased with it and give it a good thumbs up because of the impact it had on me, the memories and all that. But watching it fresh like that, the way it is, I honestly have no idea how people would take it today. I mean, all the cultural references would be a lot different, right? You wouldn't get a lot of that, but something about it feels right on a nice Thursday night. Thank you for stopping by. I hope your week is going good. Tomorrow's Friday. Heading off into the weekend. That'll be nice. Nice relaxing weekend. Wake up on Saturday morning if you can. Watch a cartoon. Like the good old days. Why not? And Thursday night always feels like a good time to watch, not necessarily the most popular shows, but just a show that'll make you motivated for your Friday morning. There's nothing better than pumping yourself up on a Thursday night with a good show, getting your memory juices flowing, nostalgia going, and then waking up on Friday morning feeling fresh, renewed, and inspired. And I can remember back in the day, back in high school, watching a show on Thursday night, whether it be Radioactive or Spider-Man, whatever it was, and just going to school the next day early in the morning on Friday because we would have band practice. And right after, I would go to the library and sit on the computer. I had access to the internet, which back then was kind of a little bit of a privilege. You didn't have it on your phone. You had to go to a computer, and you had to find time to do it. So being able to access the internet and the computer early in the morning with nobody around to just do whatever I wanted. I remember printing up the entire script of Rush Hour 2 and Rush Hour 1. I mean, these are 80 to 100, page scripts. And getting away with it, I couldn't believe it. But that was because, I watched Rush Hour 1 on a Thursday night and just fell in love with the movie. First time I watched it, and I was just like, this is one of the greatest movies ever made for what I was thinking back in high school, right? And, you know, just printing the script, getting so interested in the show, and I mean in the movie, printing off pictures, putting them in my agenda, just being pumped. Just little things like that. But always, for some reason, always seemed to happen on a Thursday night, and then pumping myself into the Friday morning during my whole day. It would make my weekend. You'd be done on Friday. Your entire Friday would just come and go because your brain was focused on something else, something that you were inspired by. Yeah, it's good. I can remember, actually, here's another good story. When SpongeBob SquarePants first came out, I was in grade 6, I think. Yeah, I was in grade 6. And I remember I bought a book off Scholastic. It was a SpongeBob trivia book. I still have it. And I just remember reading it like crazy. I got it on the Thursday, and the entire Thursday I was in that book. Well, you know, come Friday morning, I remember I created a SpongeBob club at school. Stupid idea. I mean, maybe not. Maybe today it is. But back then it was such a cool... I mean, I remember every single kid wanted to line up to be in this SpongeBob club. I made even a quiz. I asked stupid questions like, how do you make a Krabby Patty? And just, I tried to make it really, really hard. I felt I wanted to be exclusive, right? But just that idea, and I made this binder and all that with these pictures. But that was my Friday. I got so pumped up that Saturday morning, for some reason, I don't know if it was a fluke, but I wake up on YTV. They have a SpongeBob marathon from 8 o'clock until 12 o'clock. 4 hours of SpongeBob. It felt like it was meant to be. It felt like that day was meant to be, right? But it all came from one inspiration, one book, just one book to get me pumped and psyched about a cartoon. And sometimes that's all it takes. Just a little nudge in a little direction where you can find some inner peace. If you want to go draw, if you want to write some stories, do some... it's always fun to watch people do fan stories. I forget what they call that. There's a term for that. But yeah, basically fan stories. You write your own stories for these characters that you love and you enjoy watching on the screen. And you're playing around with them. You can put it online, write your stories. Oh, what a nice... Back to the show here. What a nice use of that fog machine. You don't see enough fog machine these days, huh? It feels like it's a little too much. Now they just CG it in. They put a little bit of a film on top and they just CG it in. But back then you had to get the fog machine. Ah, he's got the old World War II outfit. Supposed to be a robot. I wonder what these actors are doing today. If I had to guess, well, the most famous one that I know of, and I'm sure you guys would know of too, is Vanessa Lengies. But let's take a look at some of the other actors and what they're doing. Susan Glover is a Canadian actress best known playing Sarah in Naked Josh. She's also known for voicing Miss Woods in Arthur. Isabella Davenlot in Amazon Jack. Miss Schumann in Spaced Out. Miss Larkin in later episodes of What's with Andy. What's with Andy? That's... What? Hang on a sec. What's with Andy? I seem to remember that show. That name rings a bell. Let me just take a look. What's with Andy? Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember What's with Andy now. If you guys have a chance, go Google What's with Andy. It's that kid with the white shirt. Just another great show that I don't remember, but I remember it being a good show. All these shows. Was this a Teletoon show? I feel like this show would have played on Teletoon. I don't know, but that's another show we can watch. What's with Andy? That's another classic remembery right there. So, Michael Yarmush. It just says is an American-Canadian actor. Vic Sahay is a Canadian actor of Indian descent, best known for playing Kevin Calvin on Radioactive, Lester Patel on the NBC television series Chuck, and Rama in the Roxy Hunter saga. I have no idea what they're talking about. Oh, he's at Comic-Con. He'd be a cool guy to meet. If you had to ask one of these actors a question, what would it be? I honestly don't have a fucking clue. I would probably just ask, how'd you get the role? How'd you get the role on Radioactive? And can you tell us any stories of things that happened off the set? Something like that. Lucinda Davis is an actress. She starred in the children's series Radioactive. Davis voiced Layla and Digit in the English version of Winx Club. Oh, Winx Club, huh? Made by Cinelume the concubine in the 2008 video game Prince of Persia, and Sophie in the English version Showtime. Lucinda Davis. Lucinda Davis sounds familiar. I feel like I've seen her somewhere else. I don't know where. Cameo somewhere. I don't know. And Giancarlo is a Canadian actor, best known as George Goodwin on Radioactive and Ben Shaw on Fries with That. Okay, those are the only two shows I remember him from. Which is cool. Anything else on the side here with regards to this show? I mean, we're not going to find much on Radioactive, if I have to be honest with you. It's kind of a hidden away show, but a little gem, you know, a nice little gem. It's definitely no coal in that regards. It's got some merit to it, in my opinion, and I hope I can share that and put some light on it for you guys to watch as well. Let's get back to the episode. Oh, who misses good graffiti on the wall? Like good graffiti, none of that stuff to just make it, you know, ugly and just to put writing on it to mess it up, right? But just nice graffiti. There's something about it that's always nice to have in like a lair or a studio. After watching this, I kind of want to have a radio show. What are you talking about? We have a radio show. It's called the internet. It's called podcasting. But just, you know, something about having live listeners in the room next door, right? Having it in your high school. I mean, if this is inspiring you in any way, go talk to your teacher, go talk to them and tell them that, hey, back in the day, my older brother, my parents, they had a radio show in their school. They had a form of communication to spread some joy to all the fellow students. Can we bring that out? Can we hook something up to the intercom? You guys can monitor. You guys can watch and make sure that we're not doing anything stupid or nobody else is coming on and hijacking the mic. But I think, just go talk to your teacher or somebody in the media department. Somebody that you know might say yes. Don't go to somebody that's going to say no, because that never works. It's an old trick, right? I'm sure everybody knows it. But it would be a cool thing to add. And if those of you have a radio show or a radio channel at your school, and you're a part of it, then don't stop. Keep it going. You never know what can happen with that. Use your own skills. Go online, make a podcast, and spread some more of that cheer you got going on. Now, I remember this would have been my first elementary school, because I switched to elementary schools after around grade 2. But from kindergarten to grade 1, I remember my elementary school having a media room quite similar to this. And I think the inspiration came from student bodies. I could be wrong. Was there some kind of a studio in student bodies, for those of you that know student bodies to heart? But there was definitely a studio in in the original elementary school I went to, and it looked very similar. It was couches, and I always thought to myself, is this for students or is this for special, is this for special students or something? Like, how do I get in there? Am I allowed to get in there? I have no idea. But now thinking about it now, I guess anybody could have gone in, but maybe they did have an age limit where it was only for like grade 5 and grade 6. At the time, I was in kindergarten and grade 1, so I obviously wouldn't have walked in there. But I always remember seeing that room and just being, just wondering what's going on in there. But yeah, the kid on the left looks much younger than everybody else. He probably looks more like the high school student. There's Morgan. That's right, Mr. Noseworthy was the nice guy. And Miss Atall. Miss Atall reminds me of one of my English teachers. Just that strict English teacher with proper vocabulary. I wonder if you have that today. I wonder if you still have that strict teacher that's very passionate about her trade, her English trade, teaching the English language, correcting every mistake, every grammatic error. I miss those days. They had the glasses suspended on those little strings, those little wires. Pull those up at any moment to make sure she can get a good view. And there's the credits. Credits are rolling as the actors are finishing up their lines. Now, the thing about this is it pre-recorded laughter? Is there a live audience? Actually, that's probably a question I would want to ask. I'm sure I can find it online if I did some digging. But I'm just curious. That's the end of the episode, guys. But I'm just curious if this was filmed in front of a live audience. There's not much. Honestly, there's really not much on this. No, it's getting me in the mood to watch student bodies and some and some Are You Afraid of the Dark. And just on a little side note, guys, just to kind of plug the YouTube channel, a couple days ago I put up a video on it's a Trident gum commercial. If you guys remember Ross Hull, he was one of the main actors in Are You Afraid of the Dark when they would have the campfire. He would be one of the guys telling the stories on occasion, and he was also in Student Bodies. And if you Google his picture, Ross Hull, TV actor, I'm sure it'll spark your memory. So there was a Trident commercial with that guy, and that was pretty cool. I thought that was a rare find, something that, imagine seeing one of the Radioactive actors have a little side commercial on my TV. It felt along those lines. Actually, in fact, the commercial was a Canadian Trident commercial from the Canadian Dental Association, telling you to chew Trident and it's good for your teeth. But so I'm thinking that commercial would have never aired in the U.S. or anywhere else other than Canada. So it is a rare find. If you have a chance, go check it out. I guarantee you won't be disappointed. Ross Hull, classic 90s actor in my opinion. And I think I had a couple friends growing up. I actually met him. He came to my school. He did a little book signing and a bit of a Halloween read. I remember it was Halloween. He read a little Halloween book to everyone in the gym. We had that would have been kindergarten, grade 1. I was in grade 1, and I remember that day. They said, "Hey, somebody from Student Bodies and Are You Afraid of the Dark is coming to visit our school." And I just remember, who is it? I'm so excited. And it was Ross Hull. He came in. And then later I found out that Ross Hull was one of my friend's neighbors growing up. And then he moved somewhere else, but it just so happened he was living on the same street as one of my friends. So it was a topic of conversation again. So maybe we'll meet that guy someday. Who knows? That'd be cool. But I think I MBD'd him the other day. And I just want to see if he was still working or doing something. And the last thing I saw, the major thing he was doing was Stargate Atlantis, one of the Stargates. And I don't know I think he's just a one-time appearance character type thing. But just cool. If you're a Student Bodies fan or Are You Afraid of the Dark fan, go check it out. Thursday night. Doesn't get better than that going into Friday. I hope you guys are going to have a good Friday. Lead yourself off into the weekend. Try to do an episode. I like doing Sunday night episodes, Sunday night animation specials, especially in Canada. I'm sure in the U.S. too on Fox they would have had it. On Global here, would have had Family Guy, Bob's Burgers, American Dad, all those Simpsons and all those great shows. So it just feels right to watch cartoons Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday morning, and Sunday night. You can never get enough cartoons, right? When I say cartoons, I mean, shows and movies and TV shows from the 90s, the good stuff. With that being said, guys, go check out all the social media crap out there and Facebooks and Twitters and give a big thumbs up and shove it up your ass, all right? I'll see you on the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening. You can find the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all your favorite platforms. Check out YouTube for retro content. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook, and visit toonalong.com for more info. Support us on Patreon, and we'll catch you next time.
Toon Along, yeah, you know the name. Big ideas, fun and games. Hit that play, don't miss a beat. This is the podcast.